What's up guys, my name's Ali A and I'm back from holiday. While I was away there was the Modern Warfare 3 Spec Ops trailer released. I kind of suspected this would happen, but of course I really enjoyed my holiday. It was great to get away from YouTube and everything for 2 weeks. Now I'm back and I wanted to cover this video. Even if you've seen it before, I can guarantee you there's going to be one or two, maybe even more things in this video that I'm about to point out to you guys that you will not have seen yet. So if you're more of a multiplayer guy, there was a quick multiplayer clip at the end of the trailer, so if you want to hang around to the end or skip straight to the end, I've got a lot of detail involving the multiplayer side of things, even though it's only a very small clip right at the end of the video. But for now I'm going to jump straight into the trailer, dissect it all for you guys, and it's great to be back. So rather than picking out the obvious things that we can all see just by watching the trailer one or two times, I'm picking out the things, the tiny things that you won't have noticed when you've initially watched it, and you may not have even seen in other people's analysis of the trailer. So what we have here to start off with is 3 options to go and buy, spend your money on in this Spec Ops survival game mode, and you can see these indicated on the screen here. On the left hand side we have the airstrike symbol, which is where you can go to buy all the kill streaks. On the right hand side here we have the grenade icon here. This will be an option for all of you guys to head over and buy things such as claymores. And on the bottom here we have the gun shop, where you can go, well, it's not really a shop, but it's a gun spot where you can go and buy all your guns. So it's very similar to the mystery box, except it's split up into 3 different categories, and you can buy specifically what you want with the money. Looking in the bottom left hand corner here we have both kill streak and headshots. These are challenges you're going to have as you play through the game. There's going to be waves, of course. I've discussed this before. If you aren't exactly sure what's going on, there'll be a link to one of my older videos. But in the bottom left-hand corner, the kill streak and headshots option. As you progress and build up these challenges, you're going to get money for completing it. And then once you get to the top, the bar will go back down to the bottom again, and you'll have the chance to go through and complete the challenge again and get even more money. You'll probably notice that the guns sound a lot heavier than Modern Warfare 2 or Black Ops. And having a look at the still image here, we can take a look at what the armory is actually going to look like. Again, very similar to the mystery box, just a simple crate on the floor. You can go up to that, and then you have the option to buy whatever you wish. Emphasised in this clip here is the lighting and the recoil or kickback you're going to get on the guns in Modern Warfare 3 when you're shot at or hit by an explosive. Very similar to Modern Warfare 2, there's a lot of kick up in the air when you get hit. It's going to be hard to stay on target when this happens. And taking a look at the bottom of the screen here, we've got 2 things to point out. To the left is a sort of injection or a quick revive icon. Now this is either going to be quick revive as we know it in Modern Warfare 2 and Black Ops, where you can help revive your teammate really quickly, or it is literally the only way to revive your teammate, and the icon could represent 5 quick revives or 5 revives, meaning once you've revived your teammate 5 times, you're going to have to buy that as a perk from the armory, which means that you're going to have to keep and replenish that with money. And the armor, which is very important, I don't want you guys to miss out on this, it is armor you're going to be given at the beginning of survival Spec Ops mode. This is going to deplete down to 0, and once it's at 0 you've lost it. This armor is going to be really, really important. You're going to make sure you want to keep hold of this for as long as possible, so avoiding bullets until those later levels where your armor is really going to help you out. So the idea of progression and the enemies getting harder and harder is emphasised here. As you can tell, round 1 is a lot easier, and as you look at the waves icon under the minimap in the top left, as we see more clips, you can tell that the higher levels are crazy packed with enemies, dogs, etc. But here is a very important screenshot. We actually get a look at perks, and of course this isn't multiplayer directly, but it's almost guaranteeing the fact that perks here will be taken over to multiplayer. So we've got the usual extreme conditioning, steady aim, and the middle one here, sitrep. And if you don't know what sitrep is, it allows you to see enemy explosive devices such as claymores through walls as a red icon on the screen. And it's also got the idea of promoting in the middle of the screen here, which is taken from multiplayer. However, Spec Ops promotions and leveling up is separate to multiplayer. From what I know, the whole Spec Ops game mode, which is separate to single player multiplayer, is going to have its own progression rank system. So perhaps if you're progressing in the normal Spec Ops, which is similar to Modern Warfare 2, it will then carry over to the survival game mode in Spec Ops, meaning the higher level you are, it's going to help you buy stuff, it's going to help you get more guns, which are going to be unlocked in the armory if you're a higher level. And here the actual perks are being transferred to the kill streak armory, which means you're going to have to run up to the airstrike symbol, and that is where you're going to be able to buy the perks. We get a look at the Model 1887 in action here. The purple flare in the background is where your air support is going to land on the map. And a very interesting point here within the armory is the option to share money within zombies in Black Ops and Call of Duty 5. If one teammate had a lot of points, they weren't able to transfer that to a friend. So if one of you is doing really, really well and the other one needs a bit of support, you can transfer $500 at a time over to your friend, and that's going to be able to help them out, basically. As we move through the trailer, we're going to be wanting to keep our eyes on the bottom middle of the corner. When the game comes out on November the 8th, when your armour depletes down to 0, you're going to be wanting to up your game, up your guard, being a bit more defensive because you're not going to have extra health to help you against the enemies. There isn't a lot to point out at this part in the trailer. I'm just going to step back and let you enjoy the MP5 and AK gameplay. We get a chance to have a look at that in action and the auto turrets. I just want to say that Spec Ops Survival Mode looks a lot better than I thought it'd be, to be honest. It looks a lot more varied. They've obviously put a lot of time into it, and they're definitely trying to challenge zombies. Not necessarily challenge it, but compete with it and make sure that it is as fun as zombies. And all of you guys that are interested in zombies from Black Ops, come over to Modern Warfare 3 and have a really, really fun time. And I definitely think this is set up to be really, really good. So take note of the fact that the dog actually had a C4 on his back, and even though the dog was killed, the explosive still went off after the dog had been killed, and your teammate suffers as a consequence. And there is the timer on the screen indicating how long exactly he has left until he is downed and out completely. It seems like sticking together on these maps is definitely a really good idea, and the fact that we get a more in-depth idea of how long your teammate has to survive means you can sort of work your way around the enemies before you go straight to your teammate to revive him. The next clip is only on screen for a very short period of time in the trailer, however I've paused the video here. You can tell the enemy has a gas thing on his back, which means it's going to be some sort of maybe poisonous gas or nova gas, which impairs your vision maybe, or your aim or something similar like that, which means you'll be wanting to watch out for them. Maybe there's going to be a attack mask upgrade or perk which protects you from that, but definitely take note of that and be aware of that. That is definitely going to be in Spec Ops Survival Mode, and in the bottom right hand corner you can see the American flag is a kill streak or something along those lines. I reckon that is the option to call in your air support, which is used by the indicator. You throw that down on the floor and your air support will come in. So that's what that indicates. As the trailer continues, we get the first glimpse of something I've mentioned in many of my Spec Ops videos. I said it's going to be in the game for sure, and it definitely is. It's back and he's bad. It is the Juggernaut. It's an enemy Juggernaut. It comes in, it has loads of health. The only way I can describe it is a sort of George Romero on the map. If you've ever played Call of the Dead zombies from Black Ops, you know that George Romero has loads and loads of health. This is basically one of him. It's not going to have as much health as George Romero, of course, but that's the idea. It's going to be really, really hard to kill. However, it's susceptible to air support and things such as Predator missiles, so I would definitely save something like a Predator missile when one of these comes onto the map, because he's going to be really hard to kill with gunfire, going to waste a lot of bullets, so calling in the Predators could definitely be the best move. The gun used here, I believe, is the Scar L, not the Scar H from Modern Warfare 2. That's a heavy version, and this I believe to be the light version. And as the trailer unwinds, for those of you guys that don't know, for the Modern Warfare 2 trailers when they came out 2 years ago, there was always a little something, a little tidbit if you will, at the end of the video which showed off something special, and there's nothing different about this trailer because they have it at the end here. And if there's going to be any more Modern Warfare 3 trailers, make sure you're watching all the way to the end of the video, because there's definitely going to be something special. And this time it's actually a small multiplayer clip, so I'm going to divulge all the information I know for this. So the first change is in the top left-hand side of the screen. There's now a mini-map which is both coloured and far more detailed than we've seen in any other Call of Duty, which is going to help us all when the game first comes out. So focusing on the explosive in the middle of the screen here and the bottom right-hand side of the screen, we can see that this person has acquired 3 kill streaks which he can actually cycle through, a new addition to Call of Duty, and it appears that this is actually a kill streak, not something like a Claymore, but it acts very similar to the Bouncing Betty found in World at War. It was acquired, I believe, at a 4 kill streak, because if you look at the bottom right-hand side of the screen, you can see a bar which has 4 different levels to it. This indicates how many points you have earned. Points can be earned through killing people, capturing flags, etc. And It appears that this went off once and can also go off maybe 3-4 times since it didn't disappear after its first use. The Juggernaut is going to be a point streak. Whether or not it comes onto the map and just annoys the enemy, we're not too sure. It seems very interesting because as we saw the Juggernaut in Spec Ops, it was actually an animated enemy, so it would be interesting to see what they do there. But that's all I have to offer. I'm sure you've learnt something new by watching this trailer. If you're new to my videos, then feel free to hit the subscribe button and like and favourite the video. I really appreciate you guys watching this. It's great to be back, and I appreciate you guys watching my videos, and I'll see you all very shortly.